Hey everyone, hope you're doing great. I wanted to talk with you today about your net worth. I know this is kind of an odd subject, but maybe looking at your net worth, which is typically figured out in a way of the things that you own and the money you have coming in compared to the liabilities you may have, assets, liabilities, that kind of thing, and the value of everything that you possess. And that brings you to a net worth. That's a simple term and a simple definition for it. But I think that is a horrible term. That's probably more about net wealth of the money system. I want to talk about your worth. Your net worth. And I was going through this in my process, and this isn't a cop-out for us to not do our best in financial terms, but it's really a way for us to stop and measure where we are in our life to figure out what's really valuable. Money changes value constantly. Currencies go up and down. Values of companies go up and down. Everything goes up and down. Everything will have a life cycle. The dollar bill for the United States of America will have a life cycle and will come to an end at some point. Just like every form of exchange that we've had stopped eventually. But what is the worth of you and I as people? You would put a column of everything you own and a column of everything that you owe. And I began to put a column of all the things that were valuable to me, that made me who I am. And the first thing at the top of that was, number one, the God of the universe says that I'm his friend. I mean, right there, we could just stop and say, wow. What is that worth? It makes us the wealthiest people on the planet. You know, the scriptures say that, the angels, I think, were kind of getting, or spiritual beings were kind of getting frustrated with God because he was, continuing to work with humanity, even though, we constantly show, our human selves too often, which is not a good thing. And the scripture says, why are you so mindful, God, of these humans? They're created a little lower than the angels, a little lower than the other spiritual Elohims for this period of time that they're living on this planet. And, why is it that you keep putting up with them? And that's the cool thing, is that we're the ones given the assignment to be imagers. We're made in his image, but that's a role we get to play. We were assigned to be the imagers of God in the earth. There is absolutely nothing more valuable. So right there's not anything that we could ever owe in our life that could outweigh that. That's why the scriptures tell us that, we just want to owe the debt of love to other people because of that value alone in our lives. But then, I measure really important things like my wife. And Susan is such a value to me and builds my worth as a person of her being my partner in life. And that, makes me wealthier and wealthier in my life. I think of my 5 biological kids and my 2 son-in-laws, and I'm like, wow, it makes my worth just expand that I've had the privilege for 33 plus years to be a father and to care for my children and to love them and them love me back. They even seem to still like me. So that right there, is worth and value. And then top that off with my grandkids. And my net worth goes through the roof of extending out from me and Susan and our kids, and now another generation of humanity that we get to pour into along with their parents and love them and them love us. And there's nothing like those little faces, when they see us and hugging us and getting to embrace them. Man, what value and worth that makes of my life. My net worth is so massive and so valuable. Romans 8:18 says, we can't compare the troubles of this life with the glory that's to come, that what God's bringing us. And really, part of that, what's bringing us, is the relational aspect of knowing God, knowing and loving others, and experiencing this life as we walk through life with others. That is powerful. That is amazing. So that to me, I'm wealthier than Elon Musk, and I'm wealthier than Bezos. I'm wealthier than the wealthiest of wealthy, because that stuff's going to fade away. All those dollars are going to go away one day. All that stock is going to go away one day. But I'll never lose the love of God, the love of my family. And that makes me incredibly wealthy. And I want to encourage you with that today. Take accounting. Take an accounting of what makes you worthy. Because in myself, I'm not really worthy, but to think that God calls me friend, whoa, and that my spouse loves me and my kids love me and my grandkids love me. I can't put a dollar amount on any of that. That's the value of our lives. And whatever you're facing today, it doesn't even begin to scratch the surface in comparison of what God has promised to you and I. And so be blessed with that and be encouraged, and take account this week to know how valuable you are, and that your net worth may be way greater than anything you could ever measure in a monetary currency here in the earth. I love you. I bless you with health and healing, wisdom and knowledge, power and prosperity, and the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit of God to be evident and flowing in your life. I pray you have a fantastic week.